Thank you to the Patreon supporters of the What Remember podcast. Sarah P., a.k.a. Situational Daddy on Instagram, Sandy and Paul J., Nathan E., Jacqueline M., Matthew J., and Big Time Jim. Help support our show by going to patreon.com/whatremember and pledging a monthly amount. Thanks.
Who's got the movie? Who's got the movie?
I thought that's what you were doing.
Who's got the movie? Who's got the movie?
I got the movies like Jagger.
Who's that movie? That's what. Who's that lady?
Yeah.
Who's that movie?
Who's that movie? Beautiful movie. Who's that movie?
Oh,
Sexy movie. Who's that movie?
oh boy.
Oh, use that as an opening, but don't.
I'm gonna. Who's got the movie?
Who's got the movie?
Who's got the movie?
Who's got the movie? Shamanamana, shamanamana, who's got the movie?
I think it's gonna be Andy Hubert.
Who's got the movie?
I figured
because Andy Moldenhauer stalling.
Because I'm just singing a song.
I could choose one, but it's
I'm
like
just singing a song.
No, I got nothing.
You got nothing.
Nothing? Okay.
No, wait. I mean, well, okay. Well, I don't think you want to do. You don't want me to pick a movie.
Last time you picked a movie, we ended up Poseidoning ourselves.
We did.
Oh God.
Well,
Andy's all into adventure.
if we pick a, I mean, it's going to be another boat movie. If you pick me, that's going to happen.
Oh boy, yeah.
Like Master Commander.
I mean, we should do that, but I
That would be
wouldn't
so
make you do
long.
that one. It would just be me recounting every single line from
And
the
then
movie.
he was on the boat.
We'll just leave.
And then he was sailing the boat. And then he was on the starboard side. Like, Icky. They shoot at each other in a whirlpool forms.
Pirates 3?
Yeah.
Is that Pirates 3?
Maybe. It's Pirates 3. I don't know. Could be.
Oh, man.
I think he's got one. I think we convinced him. He's turning bright red, though. So I'm just going to go for it. My name's Bradley Jones.
My name's Andrew Moldenhauer.
My name's Andy Hubert.
And this is not a movie review podcast, but a podcast where we try to remember a movie that we haven't seen in a very, very long time. And this is what we remember about
The Hunt for Red October.
Were there 2 or 3 bad guys in Home Alone? And who was that forgetful fish in Finding Nemo? Join us as we're watching films. See what we remember and what memories we kill. Let's start the show. Here we go. This is what we remember.
All right, take that back.
I did it.
that back.
I've been wanting to watch this movie for a while.
Dang. Hunt for October. Okay.
Have you ever even seen this movie?
I'm pretty sure I've seen like many parts of it.
I almost went Crimson
just-
Tide, but I went easy on you
Oh
guys.
God, I would.
I don't know. I've never saw
I knew
Crimson
you
Tide.
wouldn't, and that's why I went easy on you. We're going Red October.
Crimson Tide and Hunt. Why is red in these submarine movies?
Right, it's true.
What's going on with this?
UK 57 Red.
The Red Dragon.
Reno Maker.
Probably had a submarine. The Reno Maker. Down
Red.
Red Scope.
Periscope up here.
Operation
I
Ready
want to
Coat.
see that so bad.
Down
now.
Periscope?
Yeah.
It's,
yes, I do.
oh my God.
Yes, I will.
It's a
see
movie.
Down Periscope.
McHale's Navy.
Was that a TV show?
No, that's a. Well, it was a TV show, and they made it into a film. Bruce Campbell's in it.
There's also Das Boot.
Sure, we talk about that in the Poseidon episode.
Did.
So who's in the movie?
Alec Baldwin and Sean Connery.
John Connery.
John Connery.
The most Russian actor of all time.
I'm Sean Connery.
This is my Russian Sean Connery.
It just sounds like
One ping
Sean
or
Connery.
2 ping?
Someone we were just recently talking about, Mr. Jimmy Jones. James Earl Jones.
Jimmy's James Earls.
Yeah,
Jones.
Jim Jams.
Jim Jams.
Earls.
Jim Jams.
The Earl of
Jim
Jim.
Jams is in this.
Not related to Vinny
Is there
Jones.
a girl in this?
Ooh.
A
in the
female-
submarine?
A female role?
No.
What is this?
Maybe. Is there like a news reporter or something? Because there's
he has a wife, but I don't know if she's in this one or if she's only shows up.
Kim
in other-
Basinger?
What was this, Tom Clancy?
Kim
Yes,
Basinger
Tom
was his wife at
Clancy.
the time.
Tom.
So we got kind of two stories here, right? There's like a submarine story, and then there's
the perfect storm
and then
with
there's
Mark Wahlberg.
and people
there's
trying
the-
to like figure out like they're at like
CIA
military
story,
base.
yeah.
CIA people doing things.
Oh.
Sort of, yes.
Let me
Some
try.
espionage.
Let me try to recall what happened in this film.
Oh, that sounds like a really interesting idea. Like we should
It's a good
try
premise
to.
for a
Yeah, we
podcast.
should think about that.
We don't have enough time for that, Brad. We are doing this podcast.
So Russian, but not Russian, Sean Connery steals a boat from maybe Russia, maybe
With
somewhere
love.
else, but it's a nuclear submarine, and it has some sort of like anti-radar, super stealthy technology inside of it.
Now you're just thinking of James Bond.
Okay, this isn't correct.
No, you were pretty close. You're pretty much. You're on the right track. I was just messing with you.
And I don't know if his ultimate goal is to like get money or just to make a point or like hold America hostage, but he is like
Trying to get that Russian money.
He's gone
an
silent
oligarch.
running, which I'm pretty sure is a boat term.
Yes.
Well, that's
It's
not a
mo-
boat
I think that's a movie.
And he's undetected, and he's like essentially going to
It's going rogue.
throw a nuke at the United States unless Alec Baldwin can figure it out. Jack Reacher.
We're going to need you to figure it out.
So close.
What's the other one? What's
Jack Ryan?
Jack Ryan.
Jack Reacher.
What's Jack Reacher?
Well,
is that also
It's
Jack
really
Reacher?
funny. Yeah,
around.
so Jack Reacher is the Tom Cruise movies, which is now a brand new TV
And
show.
people love this TV
And it's
show.
funny because Jack Ryan was a bunch of movies and now is also a streaming TV show
With the guy
John
from The
Krasinski.
Office,
Yep. Which is really it's
I
funny.
find it best to just watch one episode back to back.
Yeah.
And they have this simultaneous storyline that just
Good- that's
like
a good idea.
double
Yeah,
helix
yeah,
just
just watch that.
interweaves.
It's called double jacking it.
and I've done it. I've done it many times.
Getting real jacked
Even
off
without watching the shows.
Now, what happens otherwise in the film? I'm not quite sure. There's a lot of like tension and like cat and mouse of like them getting. You go.
So yeah, so he's got that submarine, and then he's taking it. He's just he's just like trying to shove it through a pipe.
he's trying to shove it through a pipe.
So he's on that submarine, and then he stops off at the Rock, where he proceeds to meet Nick Cage.
It sounds right.
So you could
And then they
splice
got
these
those little
films together, is what
balls.
you're saying.
Yeah, what are those little balls that you can't let them
The nerve
squish?
gas, yeah.
Or else it's nerve gas.
Yep, I remember this.
It happens in the Hunt
checks
for
out,
Red
that checks
October, I believe.
Is there ever like a problem in the submarine? Are they like running out of gas ever?
Gas.
Or is it just like, are they like clean sailing the whole time? Like what is Sean Connery doing in that submarine?
So he is, the Soviet Union's like top sub dude.
So the Soviet Union still exists at this point?
This is Tom Clancy. Height of him,
But it's
just
about to
yelling about
end.
it.
I just realized how topical this movie is.
that's fair enough.
Yeah, that's true.
And,
Probably more so when this episode comes out. Unfortunately.
Yep. And they give him
Yikes.
command of their brand new, most fanciest, special stealthy missile sub, the Red October.
Yes, it's a stealth fighter of
Oh,
submarines.
they're hunting the Red October.
Yes.
People are looking for it.
Oh, okay. This is called looking
The
in
look for Red
search of
October.
Red October.
Yeah.
It's searching for
Searching
Red
for Red
October.
Yeah. Finding Red October.
Oh, that's a better one because he's in that movie.
It's true.
That's really good, Andy.
That's a good one. Finding Red October. I'll get one.
man.
You're a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Hey, I was literally about to use that one. Stop it.
It's not my fault if there can be only one. Okay, you know.
Well, Andy! I was about to make a Highlander joke.
Zardoz. Go ahead.
But
I was gonna say because he's in a sub, he needs to be a Highlander.
Ooh.
No. Okay.
he's the lowest of landers.
Well, he needs
at
to
that
be
point.
Lander.
The car Highlander. Why didn't they ever get him to do like the spokesmanship? What? This seemed like a missed opportunity.
I bet there's some
What is
crazy
happening?
80s
Christopher
commercial
Lambert?
from that.
Either one.
Yeah, there's gotta be, right?
Come on.
That was a mistake.
That's just a.
That was a big
That's
mistake.
just a T-ball.
Who made that? Toyota?
The commercial writes itself. Just silhouette. You don't even need the actual guy. Just silhouette. Guy holds a sword up. Lightning. There's the car. It's over.
Get the
you
Kiergan,
sold them all.
Get the
That
Kiergan
might
in the back.
exist.
Get
We'll
the
check it
Kiergan.
out.
Yeah, we
We'll check
should.
it out.
But yeah, he...
Now, what's he doing in that sub?
So he is supposed to just take it out on a test run to test out this new silent Caterpillar drive that makes it super quiet.
You can't hear it.
But secretly, he's going to defect to the United States.
To the United States?
Yeah.
Sean Connery?
Yeah.
So he's working with us-ish.
No, well, no.
He's a double agent.
He's doing this on his own.
Oh, he's going rogue.
He's going rogue. Sort of. He not exactly on
codes.
his own. Like all his like top commanders on the sub are all his like best buds.
Oh, do they?
So they're all in on it.
They're all in on it. There's not like a few or a couple guys in there.
Or
And
at
be
the
like,
very
maybe we
least,
should turn around, boss.
At the very least, Sam Neill isn't on it.
Whoa,
Sam Neill?
Yes, that is his second in command.
Okay.
And
it's like Ed Harris and The Rock.
exactly, yeah.
Wow.
He tells the whole crew like, "Hey, like." This is going to be the ultimate test of our Caterpillar drive. We can't communicate with anybody, and everyone's going to try and look for us just to see how quiet we are. So that's what he tells like the rest of the crew. But he's just like, I'm just going to sail the U.S. I'm kind of done with the Soviet Union.
So why is Alec Baldwin? Do they not know he's defecting?
They do not.
They think he's a legitimate threat.
Yes. So Baldwin is Jack Ryan.
He's
works
going
for
on
the
a
CIA,
walkabout, but underwater.
basically
Walkabout, but underwater.
He's on his Rumspringer, just underwater.
Yep. And then Alec Baldwin, it's like
he's at the CIA, and someone's like,
to find
"I got
him.
pictures of a submarine, and it's gone now.
And we have a photo of this guy who's in the submarine.
And you
probably.
met him once at a party, so you are the foremost expert on him."
that's how that usually works.
Yeah, sort of. No, I feel like in the Tom Clancy verse, Jack Ryan's like some weird naval history nerd. So like,
So
you
is
know this
Alec
guy.
Baldwin playing Jack Ryan?
Yes,
Oh, okay. How many people play this guy?
Several. Ben Affleck?
at least 4.
Harrison-
Ben Affleck
Harrison
has.
Ford?
Harrison Ford has. John
then
Krasinski has.
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin has.
And then Tom Cruise. No, he's the other Jack.
That's reaching. You're reaching.
Ooh, the CIA is trying to figure out like what the heck Russia's doing with this sub. And it's also weird because again they don't know what's going on, but all of a sudden, like all of the Soviet Navy is like going nuts and looking for a submarine. Because I guess before they left, I think he sent Sean Connery sent a letter to Moscow being like, "LOL, I'm out of here, bye." And so they're like, "Oh shit, he has our newest submarine. This is not good."
I'm not Rasputin you on when I'm telling you I'm getting out of here.
Wow.
That was
Wow, Putin.
Well, Rasputin.
Rasputin. This is sounding like Doctor Strangelove, but reversed.
It sounded like down Periscope,
No,
but
no,
not
no.
funny.
Yeah, hear me out. This is like Doctor Strangelove, though,
yeah.
because I forget his name. It's something ridiculous. But the general goes rogue and then sends the guys off to bomb, somewhere in Russia.
right.
But the U.S. government has nothing to do with it, and they're trying to talk to Russia like, we have nothing to do with this either. It sounds like it's just
Yeah.
kind of reversed in a way.
Yep. And so, and that's sort of the U.S.'s position. This is they're like, did he go rogue and he's going to shoot all his missiles at the U.S.? And like Russia doesn't want to admit what happened, so they tell the U.S. I think that like they had an accident and they're just looking for their submarine or something. And eventually, I think they might even tell them like, yeah, we think he might be going rogue to try and get the U.S. to also blow up the sub because they don't want the U.S. to have it. Obviously.
What is the big climax thing? Is it sub versus sub?
Yes, we
Head
get
to head?
We
We
get
get
some
sub versus
hot
sub?
sub on sub
Sub on
action.
sub action. Oh, finally, it's so wet. It's so
This
wet.
isn't where I wanted it.
Oh,
Torpedoes away.
they got torpedoes?
Probably they're subs.
Oh yeah. So yeah, there's a couple
Slip
of
that torpedo
there's
right
a couple
in.
villains. There's first there's like
Does the U.S.
political officer
yeah.
on the Red October.
Is there a grumpy U.S. guy who's like?
There is a
I
grumpy
wanna
U.S.
stop you,
There's
Jack
the grumpy
Ryan.
U.S. sub commander.
You're out of here,
Who
leave.
is he was just in a movie. He was in Training Day. He was the retired cop guy.
Tom
that gets
Berenger?
murdered.
Who gets murdered.
Yeah.
the really skinny guy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, how do you even know that?
Because we just did that episode. It just
How do
came
you,
out at
how
what
do
we
you remember
remember
like this random guy from this scene is this guy?
I
He's
only
such
know
a
'cause
small
we
part
just did
because-
that one.
Well, yeah, I guess.
And we
you
mentioned it in that episode,
You
I
watched
think.
that. Maybe you watched it so many times.
You
But
saying
such
that
a
he's
small-
going rogue?
No,
You
it's
think
just
that
like
he's-
such a. I've never seen that guy in anything else.
He shows up all over the
that
place.
just happens
It's
to
really
us
weird.
too on this podcast, where it's
Well,
like
Andy's facial recognition is so
Yeah.
good because he's like, I've seen that guy in some other
But
thing.
it's funny.
and this thing,
It's
and this
never
thing.
names though. It's always just, hey, that guy was in another thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I
that's
never
that
know
guy
who it
from
is.
Psych in the 3rd season. It's like
John
everyone
Blair-
from
I'll be
Psych.
like, wait
Andy.
a minute. That's the guy that was in in that Castaway movie, like Tom Hanks. Yeah, that's Tom Hanks. Andy.
Oh.
And I'm like,
That's
oh,
a
that
volleyball.
one
Andy,
guy.
that's a volleyball.
No, yeah, that's
The
that
fact
guy
that we
was in-
spent time remembering one actor's name came in handy later on because somebody made a John Larroquette reference, and I was like, I know who that is now. I know who
Now you
John
know.
Larroquette is.
Oh man, but yeah. So James Earl Jones is like the head of the CIA.
Here we go.
And he's the one that sends Jack Ryan out to basically tells him it's your job to find the Red October.
Find the Red October.
Because you've read this guy's
Find the
book
Death
and
Star
you speak some
plans.
Russian, and also I think you met him at a party. Like, I think that literally is a thing.
So are we trying to get in contact? Are we trying to get Alec Baldwin and Sean Connery together in the same room to like
Contact
figure it
like
out?
Jodie Foster.
Yes and no. So it's this one thing where the Americans in general are like they're afraid of Ramis. They think they need to sink him, and like Jack Ryan's the one guy that's like, I don't think so. I think he's trying to defect. I think we should try to find him and talk to him.
Does he have
so it's
anything
like
to
Die Hard, and
support
he's
that?
Reginald Vell Johnson. He's
Yes.
like, that cop's up there. He could be part of those guys. I don't think so, sir. He doesn't seem like it.
Yes,
He seems like a good guy.
he's
This
the
John
Reginald Bell
McClane.
Johnson.
So how does Alec Baldwin know, or why does he suspect he's going just rogue?
I think it's just because he like I said, he read the book he wrote on.
He read
on
his live
being
journal.
a submarine dude. Yeah, he was like, I went to his MySpace page and I was in his top 8, so pretty sure I
know
that was
what's
a
going
message to me.
It's a sign.
I'm sure it just follows a pattern that he's like, this doesn't make sense. He wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
if
it's gonna
that
be one
was-
of those things.
That was it. Or he's
He never posts stuff like this.
Or he's taken like a weird path. He's trying to tell us something with this weird path he's taking.
Oh no, he like either remembers or finds out that like his wife had just Connery's wife had just died or something. So he's like
He's
has
spelling
nothing
her
else
name
there.
under
it doesn't
like-
make sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it doesn't make like he's like it wouldn't make sense for him to go rogue now. Like it's not like he's mad. Like it's more like that would push him to come over here.
And maybe
instead.
like one of the Russians or someone like killed her. Is that some sort of motivation?
Yeah,
perhaps?
I think the idea is that like she had like a medical emergency and like the doctor was just some high up guy, like he didn't actually know how to be a doctor, but was like a well connected guy in the party and was drunk and like killed his wife basically being a shitty doctor. And so he's like,
Shit.
I'm done with this country.
Okay. Doctor should have been doing surgery, but he's signing those checks, cashing them in.
I mean, Andy, they didn't have cash in the Soviet Union. Okay, that's
They have
that was
Kremlin.
kind of their whole
They have
thing.
Kremlin bucks.
That's kind of their whole deal.
They have Kremlin dollars.
Kremlin dollars.
non-redeemable.
They're Kremlin in front of my face.
Kremlillionaire. That's a long like setup, but I hit it. But I got it.
You went over my joke, and now I don't even remember what mine was.
Yeah. Oh man. So yeah. So basically, James Earl Jones arranges to get
Alec Baldwin on a boat or
onto a
sub.
submarine. Mm-hmm. So he has to like jump out of a helicopter onto the U.S. sub, which is captained by the guy from Training Day. And there's a sonar guy on the boat too. That's awesome. That's I think called Jonesy. I don't know who the actor is. I bet you'll both
Jonesy?
recognize him once you see him.
Clint Howard.
Yeah, please be clear.
Fresh off Apollo 13.
Well, I just, I don't know.
Hey, Jeremy,
Well,
Where I'm sitting, I think I hear a submarine.
why do we all have a Clint Howard?
I don't know. I don't know.
How did this happen?
I don't know how this happened.
Ron's plan actually worked, and we all now have
Clint Howard.
Clint Howard
impression.
The American sub, like this sonar guy, is like convinced that he has managed to figure out how to find October based on like he heard a thing, and it's like because it doesn't make normal submarine sounds, but he's like
One ping or
found
two
it.
pings?
Yes,
One ping or two
one
pings?
ping only.
One ping.
That's where that comes in. Is where they finally basically make contact with Red October. They find him and they're like trailing him.
Now Red
Okay.
October's a person in your sentence. That's
Yes. And
fun. We gotta find this Red October.
It's the subject.
that's like the
Subject.
Subject.
Ooh.
but that's sort of the first big climax because he tells the sub commander.
Yeah, where are we in the movie? Because it's
Halfway.
Like, is
This
it
is
like
like
a 2-hour
halfway.
film? Yeah.
It's already over. Credits
like
have
it.
rolled.
He's like,
Credits roll.
yeah, they'll send him. He's gonna answer. They go up to periscope depth and they like send little blinky light messages, and then he's like, Alec Baldwin is still trying to convince the U.S. sub guy not to just blow the sub up.
Yeah, it's like he would have shot us by now
He's
if
like,
he was a threat.
He's like, ask him if he's gonna defect. Tell him to just do one ping, and that's where you get the Connery line with one ping only.
Okay.
one ping.
One ping.
Yeah.
One ping.
So.
Ping it
And then
to-
somehow, like a group of them go over to the Red October from the U.S. sub. So, like the captain, the sonar guy, Alec Baldwin, all go over there. And
You know
meet him.
what? I want to climb on a submarine so bad.
Right?
In
It
the
seems
middle
like
of
it'd be
the ocean.
pretty cool.
I just want to go up there. I want to walk. I want to open that thing. The hole?
The hall.
It's got a name.
The conning tower.
Whatever it is, and just get
the
out
hatch.
there. The hatch.
The hatch.
I want to open a hatch.
I said hall.
And I want to get out there and walk around the subs and like see like a whale like over there.
Like, what up, whale?
I don't want to
like
do
a
any
whale.
of that.
I want to see how slippery it
Not
is
for
up
you.
there.
I don't want to be. I don't want to be in the middle of the ocean. I don't want to go underwater in the ocean.
I want to see what it's like. I definitely don't want to be in the submarine, but I'll take it like if it's just like a boating like on the surface the whole time. That'd be fun.
Okay.
And I could open up.
You're like, so you're like, you know, what'd be really great
hatch.
is if
Yeah.
the submarine.
it's like a limousine.
that's
you we open the top like in big and just like go in the submarine.
So
And
let
then
me
you go to your prom.
just to be clear.
show up to prom in a submarine.
Show up the prom with the sub.
So you want to go on a submarine in order to not have it go underwater.
that's
The
scary.
one thing it
No,
does.
I don't want to do that.
You have to impress the girls, Andy. It's prom.
That's true. They
It's
can't find you
prom.
if you're underwater. That's
It's
just a
prom.
fact.
You can't just get a limo anymore. It's prom.
No, yeah, you gotta pull up. You
Show up
gotta
to prom in a
gotta
submarine.
flex. You know.
That'd be so great.
That'd be good. You need an ocean though.
Yeah.
Whole ocean.
That's that.
You know, you're still gonna have to fly in.
That's the one
Prom.
problem I haven't figured out. That's the one thing.
one-
everything else,
Can't really arrive
I
to
got
prom.
figured out.
in a sub.
I know you can like take submarine like rides and things in like the lakes nearby.
Yeah.
But
Can you rent
I-
a submarine?
I don't think you can rent a submarine. I think you can get,
Legally,
like,
I'm not allowed to
I
anymore.
think you can get passage on a submarine.
If you have to ask, can you rent a submarine? Then you
Can I
cannot
rent
afford to rent a
Can
submarine.
I rent a nuke? Can I rent one nuke? Just one to rent.
You ever seen like the old timey submarines where just like one person can fit in it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like a little
The old,
the
like,
Beatles,
Civil War
like,
style
yeah, just like-
stuff.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it's like a barrel.
Sinks
It's just
to
like
the-
little pedals. You're like,
Please don't die.
like this is a good idea.
Oh no!
put metal underwater.
God damn it! Oh jeez.
Wear one of those big scuba diver helmets, you know, get down in there.
Oh, yeah.
The old school, yeah, the classic
the
diver
grid on it.
helmets,
I don't know
yeah.
what that's all about.
I don't know what that's about, but I only ever associate that with like 100,000 Leagues Under the Sea,
Yeah.
or 10,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
You get that big tube.
Not with
Just one big tube.
Cuba Gooding Jr. movie where he's a Navy diver and he has to use one of those.
Does he do
Oh,
that?
does he?
I think so.
I don't
Was
know.
that an overboard? Or what is it? Boat trip? Is that what it's called? Boat trip?
No, it's not called Boat Trip.
What was it called?
That's what
U571.
No, the Cuba
that's not
Gooding
that one.
Jr.
That's the
boat
Matthew
movie.
McConaughey boat
Boat
movie.
trip. Boat trip. It's called Boat Trip. It's a boat trip.
He's not also in U571?
Cuba Gooding Jr. is in Boat Trip.
He is
I
in Boat
believe
Trip.
you, but that's not what that movie is.
with the guy from Saturday Night Live. I can't remember his name. He was in The Mandalorian. I want to say Enrique Iglesias, but that's not right.
Horatio Sands.
Horatio Sands.
He was on Boat Trip, right?
really,
They have to sneak
what
on
is
the
it
trip.
called?
They have to pretend to be gay to get on the boat trip,
See, it's called
and
Boat Trip.
comedy happens.
No, this is
What is it called?
so
It's
it's
Boat Trip.
Cuba Gooding Jr. and Gene Hackman. I want to say where it's like
no, that's Sled Dogs.
not Snow Dogs.
That's Snow Dog with Paul Walker.
Sled Dogs.
Trapped in a
Balto.
snowstorm.
It's not called Boat Trip?
It is, but
Again,
it's not.
There could very
doesn't
well
think
be
it's called Boat Trip.
a movie called Boat Trip that he is in, but that is not the movie I'm
Yes.
talking about.
Okay,
It's a different movie when he's in a submarine.
I believe absolutely that he could be in a movie
Which
called
I thought
Boat
was
Trip.
U571, but it's not. That's a different boat movie.
Now,
Well, there's-
U57 also stars a kid from The Sandlot.
Is that the one that has Harrison
Ford?
Ford? What's the one that has Harrison
I-
Ford?
That's K5.
That's with the Widowmaker. That's the Widowmaker.
K51 the Widowmaker.
You made the joke
yeah,
earlier.
whatever.
Yeah.
It's hard to get all these submarine movies.
Man, it's
Are we missing
so
one?
We're missing one with Hubert Gooding Jr. apparently.
Hubert
No,
Gooding
it's not a
Jr.
sub movie. It's just
Hubert
a diving
Gooding
movie.
Jr.
Whatever. He's in a,
But
you know,
yeah,
It's a diving movie.
it's a diving movie.
Pearl Harbor.
Even Cuba's in that one.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah. Whew. I don't even know where we are. Alec Baldwin's hanging out on the top of a sub.
we're right
at
at
top of the
we're
sub.
right at the hot sub action.
Okay.
so like a Russian sub shows up out of nowhere.
They go tip to tip on the
You
submarines.
know what'd be cool here is if they busted out swords and just had a fight.
right,
on
just
top of it.
swashbuckle
that's what I
on the
wanna
deck.
see.
Classic,
right,
movie.
like to the death.
Like somehow he like swings from a rope onto the other submarine.
Oh,
yeah,
from a
yeah, yeah,
chandelier!
And then there's like a big whirlpool, and then they're just spinning around it.
Hey, this is turning into a good movie. He came in from the chandelier again, from the sky. I don't know. It's hanging from the moon.
Ropes keep coming from.
It's hanging from the moon, I think.
All three subs have to like do some crazy moves. And
What's the third sub? What's the third sub?
The third sub is the Russian.
It's a
sub.
cold cut, right?
It's a Russian attack sub.
Okay.
Oh, not a meatball.
It's like driven by like not a
One of us was gonna make it. I thought it was gonna be me.
You guys missed it.
I waited 25 minutes.
You're
not
like,
making
what's the third
sub.
boat? And I said a cold cut. And no one said
damn it.
anything. I said a meatball marinara.
I'm so glad you reiterated the joke. I'm so happy.
Because it was
I
hilarious.
just paved right over it, and then like my brain was like, wait a minute, let's back this one up.
Cold cut. Sorry, I keep sidetracking
So
because I know
evil
nothing.
Russian sub is hunting down
Oh, stolen
good
sub.
stolen
and
Russian
then there's
sub.
US sub.
Red
And then
October.
Alec Baldwin's sub is there.
And Alex Baldwin's sub is also there, and so all three subs.
do they like,
crazy.
exchange? They do like I forget what like the non PC or the PC version of I don't want to even say it. The fire drill in the cars where like, you switch spots.
Sort of.
Do they do that? Whereas like
They're
Alec Baldwin ends up in the
zigzagging?
other sub,
Yeah.
and like Sam Neill like ends up in the, like someone ends up in the wrong sub.
Sort of.
Okay,
So yeah, there's
Are
like
we seeing shots of the sub actually like in the water
Yeah.
on the
Oh,
outside?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Probably
you
a
get
miniature.
some. You get some good.
You gotta
CG.
get a lot of that.
You get-
CG or a miniature?
I think it's both. I think they use both, but like part of this is definitely CG. Like the torpedoes coming through, you get like all the noises from the torpedoes. So like,
I almost thought you said miniatures.
I'm gonna make sure that gets pointed out in the
Miniatures?
miniatures
I thought you said miniatures, and I was like, that works too.
it's
because
good.
they're tiny. They're weeny. They're teeny miniatures.
I heard. I know you said miniatures, but I was like, I heard miniatures, and I was like,
That's a good one.
hey, that sounds nice.
Yep.
That's what Pee Wee Herman makes in Big Top Pee Wee. He makes
Miniatures?
miniatures.
Okay.
Does
All right.
anyone get that joke?
Nope, I haven't.
No.
Not at all.
It's been a long time since I've seen
He
that.
makes
one.
hot dogs that are really tiny. They turn people into tiny people when they eat them.
What?
You know, we gotta talk about Big Top.
I know there's
Pee-wee.
like talking pigs.
We gotta talk about Big
I know
Top
there's
Pee-wee.
talking pigs. That one I haven't seen. In
We're
a
going out
long
the Big
time.
Top Pee Wee train.
That's how we we are running out of stuff.
If you see that one pop up, you're like, well,
Oh, they've done it.
it was a good run.
I'm not gonna know any other movies that these guys talk about.
If we do that one, we got 6 left, guaranteed, and then we're tapped out. We're tapped out. There's nothing. The well has run dry. I don't even know how there's 6 after that.
We just shoot them
Oh
that
my
far in
God.
advance. That's how we do it. It's like when you die and no one finds the body like 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I guess it's been dead a while.
Cat ate part of it.
So does Alec Baldwin end up in Sean Connery's sub is my question.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
they have a
Okay.
meet cute. They're like,
And then is he stuck there trying to help him get back to the U.S., or is it like do the U.S. think like, oh, he's turned him and now he's joining Russians?
no, they know he's
confusions?
good at that point because it's
Because he's been speaking English the entire time.
Right, yeah. Okay, well,
That's how they know he's good.
actually,
With a Scottish accent.
they transition it because at the beginning of the movie
Yeah.
he is speaking Russian. Like Sean Connery is actually speaking Russian with subtitles, and then
it
there's
almost is like a dissolve.
there's like this dissolvement where like he suddenly transitions to just speaking English without subtitles, and like it carries.
They
on
did that
way.
as an element in the movie.
Yes.
to
What?
That's
to like
so
kind of phase you back,
interesting.
phase you into it. It's pretty cool, actually.
Whoa,
It's-
I kind of like that.
yeah, it's pretty neat. I completely forgot about it until you brought it
It would
up.
be
I was
great if-
literally about to ask, do you think there's any movie where Sean Connery did do an accent once, like actually tried, and maybe this might be it?
I don't know if he.
Just-
I don't,
just in the
I don't know. We'll
beginning.
see. I don't remember.
not even as a
Yeah.
joke, I bet.
But it does.
Hey, Sean, do your American. Go fuck yourself. Go off. Go f off, James Bond. Oh, f off. Go f yourself.
a lot of bleeping there.
Have fun, Brad.
That's fine. I got a hotkey for that now.
That's true.
We're good.
Nice. How's this movie end?
Sean Connery gets away, I would think. But
Yeah.
maybe the U.S. and the evil Russian sub have to fight.
They all
One
fight.
gets blown up.
Yes.
Who gets blown up here?
Connery.
The evil Russian sub eventually gets blown up.
Okay, that's good.
I think it blows itself up. Like one of its
Whoa.
torpedoes like misses and then comes back around and blows them up at the end.
Oh no, it's like a reverse homing missile.
Basically.
That's not good.
Yeah. Is
Yeah,
it
that's
sure it's
poor
not an
choice.
Australian
Poor choice.
sub and like fire like a boomerang torpedo? Is that?
That sounds right. Actually. Through the water.
Coming back around.
Why did we build this?
We should have made a giant mitt for it.
Sub just like pops out like an Inspector Gadget style.
Caught it.
Oh man.
That's like a Naked Gun joke or something.
Yeah, it totally is.
They blow up the bad guy sub?
Well, they blow it up themselves, it sounds like.
Yeah, they blow up themselves.
Tell me there's depth charges in this movie because I love a good depth charge.
I don't think so.
Please tell me there's depth charges.
Wait, what? What are you saying? Depth charges?
Death charge.
Depth charges.
Depth charges?
Yeah.
Yes.
Johnny
What depth are we at? I don't know.
Because they're like the things that like destroy submarines.
Yeah,
they
it's
do
true.
it
That's
so easy.
like the U-571 and Das Boot style.
Yeah, you don't even have, you just get sort of close to a
Tension
sub
is so
and
good on
blows
those.
it
Yeah,
up.
depth charges are fun as a cinematic tool.
Scary.
I don't even know what that means.
Also, like the underwater.
You know them. They're like the big barrels. They just throw in the water, and then when they get to a certain depth, they blow
explode.
up. And so, like every submarine movie you've ever seen, generally, if it's not torpedoes, it's those.
yeah.
I also love an underwater mine feel, like in Batman
Those are
Forever that we saw. And the submarine has to go through like the the
They do a
mines.
Death Star trench
yeah.
run in this one. There's like a bit where I think the U.S. sub is following Red October, and Red October's like full speed ahead
It's like
into,
a faster
into the
ship.
Death Canyon underwater. And then, they like
We'll never make it.
Fast and Furious their way through this like canyon and manage to not scrape the paint. And the American
Ooh.
sub's like, we lost him. We can't go in there. It's too dangerous. We're scared.
Wow, outmaneuvered.
Yeah.
I would be scared too. I wouldn't do that.
Right?
I wouldn't want to do it.
We get Alec Baldwin and Sean Connery like shaking hands at the end.
Yeah.
or something.
They got.
That sounds
they
right.
Shake hands.
They make out a little bit.
Ooh,
Just kiss, tongue.
the beards get entangled and get tied together.
They then go on to make a movie about a bear called The Edge.
Sean's not in that.
He's not in that? Who's
Anthony
it? Oh, it's Anthony
Hopkins.
Hopkins. You're right.
Both great actors. That's why you got them confused.
Yeah.
But the Edge is.
I was definitely
A
just
special
picturing Sean Connery the entire time that I was thinking about that in The Edge. But yes, you're right. It's Anthony Hopkins.
Mm-hmm.
I think they even joke like they managed to make a cover story for the Russians about like, oh, we blew it up. So too bad.
All the parts are gone,
Yeah.
and those guys are all dead. Stop looking.
Oops.
Don't
bad.
don't even look.
Didn't mean to.
Stop it.
There's a really good line actually right near the end that I remember that. Like, so there's bits in this where like the Russian ambassador is talking to the U.S. ambassador like every so often where he's like, the first he comes in and he's just like, we've lost a sub. We need your help to find it. And kind of tells him like, he's the guy's dangerous. You should kill him. And then the very end of the movie is like the U.S. ambassador's telling him that like, oh, yep, we blew your sub up. And then the Russian guy's like, so we lost. Another sub went missing, and it's the one that blew itself up earlier. And the American guy's like, "Wait a minute, you lost another submarine?" And you're like, "Ha ha!" Cue the Curbed theme song.
Bum 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 ba da 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 da.
Freaking got him.
You should keep singing it so I don't have to look for it. I can just use your
There you go.
version.
Yeah.
Ba 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 da 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 ba da. Ba 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 boom. Blah ba da ba da ba da ba da ba da.
Perfect. Beautiful.
But
But that's it. And then capitalism won forever. Hooray.
Hooray! Hooray!
And then
well, it had to be like
Did anybody
the
important
Russians.
make this movie? Is it a Ridley Scott
Wolfgang Puck.
movie? Wolfgang Peterson?
Wolfgang Puck.
I feel like it should be. I don't know if it is though. That's a good question.
This is directed by. I'm gonna just go out on
Tony
a limb.
Scott.
Richard
Tony Scott.
Donner?
That's what I was gonna go for.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Tony Scott.
Then he did Top Gun.
You did Top Gun in the 80s. This is kind of like Top Gun Underwater.
I don't know
though.
what time
Tony
is.
Scott did Top
okay?
Gun?
Yeah.
Oh damn!
Totally a Tony Scott looking film.
This can't be Tony Scott because there's not enough gradiated filters.
Not enough lens flares.
Not enough lens. Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Not enough of that.
This is
know,
Ron
man.
Howard.
Not enough anamorphic.
Ron Howard.
Could have been.
Honestly, that wouldn't surprise me either. I don't know.
If Clint's in it.
I don't think he is.
That's how
That's how you know. That's how you know.
John McTiernan? Maybe? I don't know. That's just a shot in the dark.
I like that. Okay.
Die Hard Underwater. Die Hard Underwater.
That's pretty good.
Die Hard.
Die Hard in Space.
Die Hard.
Well, we're going to see what we got right and what Andy Hubert got wrong in part 2 of Hunt for Red October.
You wish to add something to our discussion, Dr. Ryan?
Well, sir, I was just thinking that perhaps there's another possibility we might consider. Ramius might be trying to defect.
Do you mean to suggest that this man has
Proceed, Mr. Ryan.
Well, Ramius trained most of their officer corps, which would put him in a position to select men willing to help him. But he's not Russian. He's Lithuanian by birth, raised by his paternal grandfather, a fisherman. And he has no children, no ties to leave behind. And today is the first anniversary of his wife's death.
Oh, come on. You're just an analyst. What can you possibly know what goes on in this mine?
I know Ramius, General. He's nearly a legend in the submarine community. He's been a maverick his entire career. I actually met him once at an embassy dinner. Have you ever met Captain Ramius, General?
Welcome back to the Crazy Ivan podcast. We watched The Hunt for Red October.
I can't wait to hear
Who's
what you guys
Crazy Ivan? Is that Sean?
I think it's
Sean
like a
Connery?
slur.
It's
Sort of.
sort of a little bit.
Crazy
It's
Ivan.
a move that Russian subs
'Cause
do.
it's
Because
To
Ivans are...
clear their
Ivan is
baffles.
Russian.
Yeah.
Russian name.
Yeah. A little rude.
We watched The Hunt for Red October.
We did. It was
Did?
mostly in a sub.
Takes place in November.
There's
Misleading.
3 subs.
Yeah, it's true. 1984, November.
Yeah, I thought I didn't realize it was going to be slightly earlier. It's only slightly earlier than when it came out. But I guess that's when he maybe wrote the book, I'm guessing.
Yeah, the book
Yeah, the
came
book
out in
came out around
84, I think. The movie, what, 1990?
Yeah.
Yeah, 90 or 91, 90, I think.
Yep.
Alec Baldwin only got the role because Harrison Ford said no.
Yep.
Wait, but Harrison Ford was in a one later?
Yeah.
Yes, he was in one earlier.
Because he was in Patriot Games.
Yeah, so the IMDb trivia,
Yeah.
which is, as reliable as anything
Yeah.
is, and it's excellent, and for sure you should believe it. Harrison Ford wanted too much money for it. But then when they wanted to do a sequel, Patriot Games, or whichever one came after, Alec Baldwin wanted more money, and they're like, well, for that money, we can get Harrison Ford. So they got Harrison Ford. Paid that amount of money.
Sounds like the studio won both ways.
Yeah, there you go.
Do you think Alec Baldwin was good? He's very whispery. He's like,
Honestly, I think he's the best Jack Ryan.
he's a whisper.
He doesn't
Well, you didn't
look
see the new one.
like...
What?
He doesn't look
What
like
do you mean
Alec
the new one
Baldwin.
with John Krasinski?
Yeah.
You think I didn't watch that when it came out? Because I did.
But there's only 3 Jack Ryan so far?
There's...
Yes.
Wait, Andy will be the confirmation.
Is there only 3? I thought there
4.
was 4.
Ben Affleck.
There's 4. Ben Affleck, yeah.
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck was one as well. In Some of All Fears.
Yeah.
Not changing lanes.
Some of All Fears.
Not changing lanes.
Yeah, not Paycheck. It's Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Which one? Paycheck or
tell me.
Payback?
One's Ben, one's Mel.
They need to get in a movie together, huh?
Man. This cast, though.
There's a lot of people. Sam
Neill.
Curry?
Yeah.
Tim Curry. Is it Sam O'Neill or Sam Neill?
Just Sam Neill.
Okay.
Sam
Fred
O'Neill.
Thompson's in it. Fred Thompson, who's in Law and Order. He was a U.S. senator.
Yes,
Remember
he
that
was.
guy?
Okay.
Yep. He
Balder,
plays
older
like
guy.
the DA in Law and Order. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
that grumpy old man in Russia who was in a lot of stuff, but I couldn't figure out who his name
Yep.
was. In
Oh, well, that's
trivia.
is it Alexander Skarsgård?
Stellan Skarsgård.
Stellan, thank you, Stellan Skarsgård.
So
That's-
his
that's
dad?
who. Yes.
Oh, the old Skarsgård.
The patriarch.
Famously of the Thor movies.
Oh, is he in
Which one,
those?
Stellan?
He's in
or-
Thor and Thor Dark World.
Stellan.
Stellan is, yes.
Okay. Yeah, Stellan Skarsgård.
Not the one from Green Lantern.
But he's German and he's playing Russian, I think, right? I think he's German
I think
or
anybody
Austrian.
can be whatever they want to be in this movie. And
That's
you
a
can just
true
make them
fact.
Russian.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure Tim Curry's from like Britain or something.
Yep.
Oh, well, yeah,
he's
he's
British.
yeah.
Connery Scottish.
Yeah, I get a whole mix. Sam Neill's, I think, from Australia.
I think you're right.
One
Yeah.
or the other.
There were some other people too, like I vaguely remembered from other movies, like one of the other U.S. commanders that the 2 guys that were
Ernie
like,
Hudson?
drawing. Yeah, the Ernie Hudson looking character was like drawing on that ruler
Wasn't it
and
Ernie
showing it to the guy. No, it was a white guy.
Oh, okay.
It was a white guy that he was showing it to, but I can't remember what he's from. I've seen him in other stuff.
Oh,
There-
that's the guy that Andy
there were a
knows
lot
from
of-
Training Day.
From Training Day.
Yeah.
Training Day guy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Playing Bart Mancuso.
Yes, you're right. Now, okay. Mm-hmm. When I saw Training Day, I couldn't really place him, but now seeing this, I can place him.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Does it make sense?
Well, because I was picturing him
I
younger,
don't know what else he's from.
not older, and in Training Day, he's got like the glasses, and he looks a little different. I couldn't quite place him. I don't know what else he's from, though. No.
Yeah.
He's like, he has minor roles in like a million movies.
Things.
It's crazy.
I've seen his
Yeah.
face plenty of times.
He shows up all over the place. I think this is his best role. He was really good in Training Day too, but like,
There's a Training Day too?
yeah.
Oh my
He's
god.
barely in it. He was killed in
Training
one.
the next day.
It felt like there was a lot of like sit down or lay down acting throughout this whole film. You know what I'm saying? Like Sean Connery's usually like laying down.
He's
or-
laying down in one scene.
Yeah. Or those
he
2 guys
sick?
are like sitting down, like the 2 Russian guy, the Russian guy's
Sit at the
talking to the
table.
British guy or whatever.
No.
But you can't stand all the time on a sub.
It's too small in there. You got to sit.
It did have like a nice bench, like restaurant bench seating in his office.
It's true. You got the little booth. Yeah.
before he smashed that poor man's head into the
Oh yeah.
to the thing.
He killed that guy.
Yeah, well, he slipped on his own tea. It was his fault.
And then Tim Curry had to show up to try and figure out what happened, but he was like not. How many people were actually in on this plan that Sean Connery had? Was it only Sean Connery's plan?
And Sam Neill, I think, knew
Yeah, it was-
some of
he seemed to
it.
know something.
Everyone in the room.
Tim Cur-
Oh yeah, Jeffrey Jones. We forgot to
Oh,
mention Jeffrey
Jeffrey
Jones.
I don't think we can
Jones.
talk about Jeffrey Jones anymore.
He plays like
Why?
a sub engineer.
You don't-
Everyone in that room was in on
No,
it. And they're all on the sub- yeah.
Please don't say
So,
it.
but I
Jeffrey
didn't know about
Jones?
Jeffrey
No,
Jones.
no, what? This movie was a little hard to follow because I was like,
Yeah.
making food, and then I was
There's a
exercising.
lot of
and then I
characters.
did
'cause
some
there's, like,
laundry.
There's a lot of characters. and
3
there's like,
different submarines.
I would say there's
Three
three different
subs.
submarines. They are
Yeah.
lit slightly differently to try and help
Yeah.
you differentiate them.
The Red October's red.
There's
Yep.
a few helicopters.
the Dallas, the U.S. sub is blue, and then like
The other one's
James
like
Earl Jones is
darker.
back in
like-
Washington.
yeah, James, yep, and then later on a boat. Mm-hmm.
There was also like another guy that looked familiar was the Russian diplomat guy that was talking to who I thought was like maybe George W. Bush or something.
Yes, no, yeah, he's talking to the National Security Advisor. I should pull him up because you're right. He is.
Oh yeah, that guy.
They were in like the room. It's kind of how the movie ended, where he's like, "Whoa, we lost another sub," and you're like, "You lost another sub."
submarine.
It was like, "What? Credits.
It's like, well, Joss Ackland.
That's the Russian guy.
Yes.
Andy Hubert, take me through. I get a little lost at the end of this film.
I mean, it's
I do
easy. There's
too.
3 subs flip-flopping around.
And there's a saboteur.
And there's a boat, and there's a
inside,
saboteur,
inside
yes.
the October sky. The Hunt for October Sky.
Who?
Well, we don't know until the very end, which is a guy that we don't really know very well. We're not familiar with him. Is he like in the background?
Once
in some
you
shots?
know who it is and you rewatch this movie, he pops up in a bunch of scenes. So it's the cook on the ship. So like when when the guy slips on his tea and dies, and Sean Connery takes the key and he's like, "You there, crewman, come over here and witness this." It's that dude. And that dude is like, he's leaving the command room when the chief engineer comes in because they're about to have the radiation leak. So he keeps like popping up in the background of scenes. So you see him subliminally sort of throughout the movie. He keeps popping up in the background.
He's basically trying to stall the sub because it seems like if the Russians get them, they're going to be dead.
So the cook,
right?
the cook is like a secret, like a double agent sort of. So they had their political officer who directly works for like the party. And then he works for like the KGB as sort of a sleeper agent too, as like a backup. So if something's going on, so at the end he's trying to sink the ship so the Americans can't have it.
Okay, so he doesn't care about his own well-being.
No, yeah, he's just there to sink the ship to take everyone down. He's like, yeah,
I see. Okay.
Americans can't have this.
But
What was the whole deal with like the torpedoes and?
So there's a few torpedo things. There's one like fake out torpedo where it's like the Americans testing.
I remember that. Yeah.
Testing them. And there's another one where like Sean Connery turns around and hits the torpedo before the torpedo can detonate. And then there's another torpedo thing at the end that basically
like,
circles
right
around and like
them.
hits the sub that shot it.
Yeah, so you're right. So the first time is the Russians launch the
a little
first torpedo
complicated.
because they're trying to sink it, and it's like a anti-sub plane finds them, drops the torpedo as they're going into their Fast and Furious, Star Wars Canyon run. And so that they managed to that's where he turns at the last second. The torpedo runs into the seawall and blows up.
I thought that was an American fire.
No, that was Russian.
It's like rocks and stuff.
That was a Russian one.
Okay.
Then you're right. Then at the end, there's the Russian sub shows up and first fires torpedoes with no one even knows.
sub.
They just show up and
Third sub or fourth?
Third sub.
Third sub, okay.
Yeah, the Russian is the third one.
Yeah, the bad Russians.
That's the one with Stellan Skarsgård.
So yeah, they shoot 2 torpedoes which just fly past the sub and don't turn on. They set the torpedoes wrong. So then they fire 2 more torpedoes. Those are the ones he turns into and rams basically before they turn on. And then the last torpedo turns first the US sub distracts it, comes swooping by and then jumps out of the water. And the torpedo loops back around and blows up the bad Russian sub.
All of the practical effects were really good.
Yeah.
All of the CG effects were too dark and I couldn't see what was happening.
This is a very dark movie. It's dark. Very dark.
I couldn't see anything.
I was watching this on my TV that has is set to the lowest brightness setting too, and I was like, well, fortunately, I've seen this enough times that I'm not sad that I cannot watch half this film. It is too dark.
It looked very different when it was Alec Baldwin on the Russian ship and he was being shot at. When that started,
yeah,
it had an interesting shot that made it look like it was a much bigger space than what they were making it look like before.
Well, yeah, they're in the missile
or they did
room,
some kind of
huge.
movement with the camera that made it look really wide and big. I'm kind of remembering that, but that was the widest shot. Everything else is very, it's sub, it's
everything
small.
is a set. I would assume.
Oh, it looked like a set.
The trivia mentioned they did some shooting on the top
museum
the
top
sub.
of the sub when it's I don't even know if it was really moving in water, if that was added digitally or not, but
yeah,
there are moments, or it's superimposed or however they do it.
But yeah, I mean, most of the spaces on a sub, especially the attack subs, the US sub is going to be really small, but on a missile sub, which is what the October is, the missile tube section especially is just enormous because it's housing those things. So and it's as long as a regular Olympic track basically, and you can just move around in there.
Okay, so talking about the ending some, the saboteur does, or is it a fake out the whole time to get them off the sub?
Yes.
Was that a fake out?
That was a fake out.
The radon leak or whatever was inside the submarine?
So like when Jack Ryan's on the aircraft carrier and the aircraft carrier captain's like, your idea is really stupid. How would he get the entire crew to defect? And he's like, you'd have to get some way to get him off the ship. Mm-hmm. So he figures out that the ruse that Ramius has planned is to fake a radiation leak, which means they have to surface and get everyone off the boat.
So that wasn't a saboteur.
No.
But there was a legit saboteur.
There was the saboteur with
earlier.
the Caterpillar drive, which
Yeah.
was the cook. The cook sabotaged their silent propulsion. It's very convoluted.
It's very complicated.
So they get the crew off the ship. Then the Americans show up, and so they're like, "Oh well, the officers will stay behind and sink the ship."
And the Americans have a little tiny sub that they can
they
go
have
over
a
and
little-
land inside.
That dude's my favorite. I love
Little
when like
sub.
the first torpedoes come by. They're like, "Get that thing off the sub." Like he yells up like. They look up the tube, and the one guy's like, "Hey, I think someone just shot a torpedo out here." And he's like, "Get out of here!" And just shuts the door. It's like one of my favorite bits.
My favorite bit was when they finally board the October Sky, and there's like the Russian guy like ready to put like a nuclear like block or something into place just in case something was going to go bad. And he's like, "Oh, you don't have to do that." And he's like, "Okay." All right. Remember the professor hitting the button in Futurama?
Yeah,
Or
right.
Hermes?
Okay.
Okay. Yes, I won't do it.
Yeah.
Because I'll blow up the sub.
Like the small guys are my favorite guys in this. The dude driving the little
helicopter
maze.
guy.
The helicopter guy is my absolute favorite part of this movie.
So this movie was directed by John McTiernan.
Yes.
Who directed Die Hard.
Yeah.
And there are elements of Die Hard in it. That guy is in Die Hard as the underground electricity worker who, like, the power goes out. And he's, like, down in the
You're right.
the manhole.
He's talking
Oh,
like the
yeah,
FBI
yeah.
guys.
And then in this one, he's a helicopter pilot, or he's in the helicopter with
Crew
Alec
chief,
Baldwin
yeah.
talking about, like, vomiting. You think this is bad? Oh, you hate flying? Let me tell you. He's got like,
It wasn't that watery puke. Well, this was the industrial strength puke all over my console. Shorted
so
it out. Want a snack? That guy was the best.
Some turbulence, eh, Commander? You don't like flying, huh? Oh, this is nothing. You could have been with us 5-6 months ago. Oh, you talk about puke. You ran into a hailstorm over the Sea of Japan, right? Everybody's stretching their guts out. The pilot shot his legs all over the windshield, and I bark on the radio. Knocked it out completely. And it wasn't that lightweight stuff either. It was that chunky industrial waste too. Hey, you want a bite?
Was it the passenger or the driver? The
I don't know. He was in the side.
He was the crew
He was
chief,
a
so he like
co-pilot or
operates the
something.
radio and stuff
Yeah.
in the back
Yeah, okay,
of the.
He's just
yeah.
telling stories.
It's so good.
Have you seen The Burbs? He's Tom Hanks' best friend in The Burbs, which is how I know him.
I've seen that.
Oh yeah. Wait, isn't that guy also in Richie Rich?
Yeah. No, Blank Check.
Blank check. That's what I was trying to say.
Man.
That's what you.
So many
That's
connections.
exactly
what I thought.
He's the limo driver.
Yeah, I did think of Blank Check when I saw that part.
Yeah.
This is not a movie for me. I will say that.
There's a lot of talking.
It's a lot, and it's
It's
a lot
like
of
on a
talking.
sub. It's like
And like
It's a dad movie. I thought it was
Yeah.
like, it feels like a dad, and Andy's almost like a dad.
It's
now.
a political.
the-
it's like a spy thriller,
the
which
spy
also
thriller
means that
stuff
you really
is
need
kinda
to.
not
It's
my
easy
thing.
to
Just for
get
dad.
like plots mixed up because so many things happen with different people at different times. And like if you don't keep the names straight, like none of it makes sense. Like it's kind of Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy that way, where it's
Yeah, that
like
movie put
if
me to
you
sleep
look
as
away
well.
for a minute, it's over. You can't finish the film
yeah,
because now
I
you're
just
lost.
can't do that sometimes.
And yeah, it took me like 3
Can't be like
watches.
that
I love that film
focused.
to death, but it's like it took me 3 times to
Well, you gotta
actually
watch
understand what
the
happens.
Tinker, and then you gotta watch the Tailor, and
That's
then you gotta
true.
watch the Soldier Spy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
It's in 3 parts.
wow. I thought it was 4.
Soldier Spy.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, it surprised me.
Oh,
That's
man.
the twist.
It's just not my. This was not my type of movie.
Do you like political thrillers?
I don't think so.
I don't
I don't
think
think
so.
I do.
The techno thriller,
And especially
like
what you were
West-
saying
I tried to
about
watch, like,
names.
West Wing, it's like kind of boring.
I used to like
yeah.
West Wing.
I tried to watch. I
It's hard
watched
to
the
watch
first
now.
episode, and I was like, oh, okay.
I'm
I
a
can't.
24 guy. I like the action, which this movie has very little of. Maybe
Right. It's
There's, like,
more
Sort of
real
the
talk.
ending where the torpedoes are flying around, or the whole last 15 minutes are just boing, boing, boing.
Alec
boing.
Baldwin like climbs through a vent like Bruce Willis in Die Hard.
He does. He's
And then
on the railing
shoots a
getting
guy,
shot
and
at.
then
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
That's so funny. I thought of Die Hard during that scene. Now it makes more sense.
There's some definitely parallels between this and Die Hard.
Yeah.
Like, Alec Baldwin's first scene is like in an airplane where he's like feeling queasy or whatever.
Yep.
And it's like, that's how you like to introduce characters, John McTiernan. That's your
Was he rubbing
thing.
his feet on the ground
He might as well have been.
out of his shoes?
Oh man, there's like you get to see Sam Neill die not being able to
Sad.
go to Montana
His dream was just to see Montana
and have a pickup truck.
Wow, he wants to be American.
travel the states.
Wait, what happened to him? Did he die?
He got shot by the saboteur guy.
All right, I think I missed that part.
It's a good line. I would have liked to have seen Montana.
Don't even need.
I thought they
papers to
did a
get across
good
the
job
states.
with the changeover with the Russian to English.
Yes.
I was like, how's that going to work? And then they did the Russian part longer than I thought they would do before they switched back.
Yeah, they committed to that. It was. I liked the way they
I mean,
did
I had to
that.
turn the subtitles on.
The very first bit of dialogue was nothing. It was just kind of like Sean Connery saying like single words, you know. But evenally he did say
He still
like
has
more
his accent
sentences.
in Russian.
Yes.
Oh, I
Which
bet.
I thought was unique.
It's interesting. Yes.
Yeah. Shastrovia. Yeah. I thought that was well done. You know, with like the slow focus in and then cut back.
Yeah, I think that's
It
one
worked
Yeah, one of my
because they did it later too with Alec Baldwin.
This movie is one of the best in terms of how it handles the concept of have a bunch of English actors playing someone else. So as opposed to the normal, we'll just use British actors for one side, American actors for the other side, and people will just be like, oh, they're British, they're evil.
Right.
So
That's the original association.
yeah.
What's the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where he's Russian? Do you remember this movie?
Apparently he was considered for Ramius in this movie.
Whoa!
Because McTiernan was like, I'd really like to, because he did Predator, I think, right?
I don't. Maybe. Yeah.
And so he's like, what if we did it? And I was like, that would have been a weird movie. I would have watched that.
Moscow on the Hudson?
Something like that.
That's Robin Williams. It's like he's a saxophone player living in New York City from Russia.
There's a lot of Robin Williams '80s movies that have just like slipped by me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
was,
What's
like,
Eating
looking at his
Gilbert Grape is
IMDb.
one of those.
And I was just like, what? Are these
Or,
good
or is
movies?
it?
No one talks
no,
about these
No, The
movies.
World According to Garp is what I meant.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
one
yeah,
that
yeah.
I've like seen but totally never watched it.
I've seen that once.
Dead
I
Poet
remember
Society as
nothing
well.
from it.
Never seen it. Need to see that one.
Yeah.
I hear that one's good.
I'd recommend Awakenings.
Oh, I want to see that one really bad. Yeah.
You would enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's very well acted.
I've heard great things about it.
Robert De Niro.
I've heard great things
It's
about
good.
him in it.
It's great.
Seen clips.
Well, there you go.
All right.
We have anything else to talk about with Red October Sky?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think this was for me.
No?
I knew this was an Andy movie for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
It's a boat movie.
It's for your dad.
Yeah, it's for Dad.
You put this in
Hey,
under the
Dad.
Christmas tree, give it to Dad.
No, watch
He
Red
opens it.
October.
This movie's classic. Don't worry, I won't make you watch any more boat movies.
That's a lie. It's a
The
dirty
next
lie.
one's gonna be a boat movie, Andy.
Oh, it's gonna be. I've been at a
I mean,
boat movie.
we're gonna watch Captain
What's that
Ron.
Cuba Gooding Jr. movie? Boat.
Oh, Men of Honor.
Men of
We
Honor.
figured
That's
that
right.
out.
We did figure that out. It was.
No, what's the boat one called though? Let's do that one. Boat trip.
Oh, back to this again. Horatio
trip.
Sands movie.
Boat trip.
Oh boy.
Thank you for joining us on that episode and every episode that you do. The next movie we're doing has the tagline Unpolished, Unkempt, Unleashed, Undercover. We remember Miss Congeniality.
Sir, side please. It's emergency official business, ma'am.
Hey, get lost.
FBI, you might want to stay out of this, all right, sir? All right. I would like 8 double tall lattes, one with no foam.
Special Agent Gracie Hart is as tough as nails.
She's got a lot of rage.
And she's completely unpolished.
Honey, are you a lesbian?
Dad. I wish.
But when the FBI needs an undercover agent,
The bombers picked another target.
We have ourselves a national emergency.
It's the Miss United States pageant.
the only man for the job is a woman.
You do a few butt-shaping exercises, you tighten this up, you could pull this off.
You know what? Pull this off. Let's go, girl.
These people want to put one of their agents in the pageant.
Do you have an agent in mind? Sorry.
She doesn't look the part.
There's no way on earth that I can make this woman ready in 2 days. She's Dirty Harriet.
She doesn't act the part.
Come on, have some midnight John, some girl talk.
We can't have pizza and beer.
It's light beer, and she's gonna throw it up anyway.
She doesn't want the part.
I'm not gonna parade around in a swimsuit like some airhead bimbo.
Describe your perfect date.
I'd have to say April 25th.
But she's about to prove anything is possible.
I have gel in my hair, I haven't slept all night, I'm starved, and I'm armed. Don't mess with me. Ooh, jeez. I'm fine.
This December.
You're doing a great job.
Do you think I'm cool? Just you wanna date me?
Get ready.
Gun! Gun! Everybody down!
For the new face of the FBI.
Of course he had a gun. This is Texas. Everybody has a gun. My Flores has a gun.
Miss Congeniality.
What is the one thing our society needs?
World peace.
World peace. World peace.
Harsher punishment for parole violators, Stan. And world peace.